follow-ups are typically manual processes. And so usually you think about outsourcing that follow-up to a person, but Forefront gives you the ability to outsource that to the technology for all of the follow-ups. And we've had great success with that. We had a listing referral that we actually closed in February where we got an $11,000 referral fee from our agent. And that lead had been in our system for close to 2 years in the automated follow-up sequences that we created within Forefront. My name's Chris Deal. I am the co-founder and one of the owners of Lazarus Property Group, as well as Real Estate Investing Made Easy.
So this is Christian Weatherspoon here with Lazarus Property Group and Real Estate Investing Made Easy.
We market here in San Diego primarily. We're expanding beyond San Diego as well in our business, Lazarus Property Group. And then our business, Real Estate Investing Made Easy, we provide done-for-you marketing on behalf of real estate investors all over the country.
One is a marketing company that will market for investors across the country, and of course our own business as investors.
And so we position ourselves as the number one real estate resource from data to deal, where we basically help them with cultivating the lead list or the prospect list that they're going to go after. We optimize that data, market on their behalf, and then drop their leads directly into usually our preferred CRM, which is Forefront.
The value proposition of everything that you need, the number one resource from data to deal, is really only made possible with the resources that we have that we can implement it. I don't have time to go get a degree to figure out how I can utilize a system or a CRM to scale with the growth of our business. Enter Forefront. It is the single system that for us and for our clients is absolutely scalable, and at the end of the day meets them where they're at. Whether they're brand new investors or whether they've been doing this for years, it is something that once we landed on it after a very long time of searching, we were absolutely thankful for, and we can go to sleep at night knowing our leads are managed, but not just ours, but our clients' leads, because it's easy to get started learning it. It doesn't take a degree.
Awesome, thank you. Could you tell me what is typically happening inside of your clients or even your business with regard to needing a system like Forefront?
I don't have a degree in development, nor do I want to pay somebody $25,000 to $35,000 to build out a whole system, which some of these other platforms that'll remain nameless require. And so we wanted something that was going to be user-friendly and scalable, right? For bringing on new people, we want them to be able to learn it really quickly, efficiently. But the other thing is, we're big on systems and outsourcing. And so we recognize that you either have to outsource with people or you have to outsource with technology. Forefront is a very interesting CRM because it kind of gives you the ability to kind of blend both of those, right? Follow-ups are typically manual processes. And the cool thing is it's super easy to even build those follow-up sequences out yourself. I had no experience with any of that type of thing in the past, and Forefront's way of putting it together just made it super easy for me to go in and say, click, 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 type what I want to type, set the time frame, and let it just do its job. And it's saved us a lot of time, energy, and hassle.
What Forefront is an absolutely stellar lead management tool that leads to closing more deals than you ever could imagine without that particular software. It's just absolutely streamlined. It looks great, and I love it.
Nice, thank you. Great answer. Chris, what is your experience with using any of those other systems and what life is like and how it's different with Forefront in that regard?
I think many of these companies out here, they want to be a jack of all trades. And the problem is when you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none. So most of these other softwares that we've found, they're okay at a lot of things. They're just not great at any one thing. And for us, we don't want to be okay at anything. We want to be great in everything that we do. And we understand that sometimes that can present challenges where you have to leverage multiple tools to do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, I would rather have 5 great tools that I can leverage together to get my job done than one mediocre tool that allows me to do everything, but just not at a really high level. I love the fact that Forefront is really focused on being great at lead management. Once it's in your pipeline as a lead and now you're working it through the system, it's just really, really efficient. It's not trying to be a prospecting tool. It's not trying to be a driving for dollars tool. It's not trying to be, all these other tools that are great and you need and we use in our business, but I just understand that the bandwidth for a business to try to be great in all those things really ends up leaving a system lacking. And so Forefront's just great at, really staying in its lane of what it's really designed for.
What I really like the most about it is the auto follow-ups as well, because the auto follow-ups, we, can get a deal, and we've done multiple deals where they've been just sitting there going from this follow-up sequence to this follow-up sequence automatically. The trigger you can create to end one 15-day automation follow-up to go then into a 30-day follow-up is absolutely stellar. It's just visually satisfying to be able to see that. The way that it's laid out, visually when you log in, the options that you have to choose, it is not overwhelming. It's about balancing what the customers actually want with features, but not going too crazy to eliminate all of the bells and whistles, to distill it down into something that actually is easy to take action with. Because most investors, the reason why they fail 95% is they get in their own way and they're not using the tools that will help them get out of their own way. And Forefront definitely helps get you out of your own way.
In the past, we've found that a lot of clients were having a lot of the leads kind of fall through the cracks. It's kind of like being on the dinghy and there's holes and you're trying to plug holes with your fingers and you only got so many fingers. You start using toes and you're like, now I can't even paddle the boat anymore. For me personally, I never was really able to shut down and go to sleep at night feeling that everything was handled prior to using Forefront. And more specifically, prior to the most recent massive update that you guys made, which was a game changer. I mean, this has really made it really efficient to just be able to make sure that everything's being captured, everything's being handled. There's specific places for every type of communication. A new lead that comes in is handled one way, and then leads that you're still trying to make that first connection with are in a different place, and it's all very categorized. You have all the information that you need in front of you to make that call, and I think one thing that a lot of investors make a problem of is analysis paralysis, and they have all of the information of the lead in front of them before they make a call, and they start researching. And I've talked to some investors that they start comping before they've even had a discovery call with the client. I think the great thing about the way Forefront is designed, you have to work to even get to that point where, you'd have to open up the lead further to start seeing everything, to start running into that analysis paralysis. Whereas if you just focus on that contacting page and you just go down the list, hey, how many times were they reached out to? When's the last time? Awesome. What's the notes? Cool. Let's call them. If you don't get a hold of them, quick note, on to the next one. And it just allows you to churn through that lead list a lot quicker, more efficiently, without getting paralyzed with all the information overload.
Well said. I especially like the plugging the holes in the dinghy, you just go, that was awesome, man. I would imagine that there's some pushback on having to switch CRMs, right? And to get going with that. Was that a concern that a lot of your clients have, or that you guys even had with moving into Forefront?
There's two things that I would tell them, and we've experienced this before. And on the other side of it, there's relief for a lot of other reasons, utilizing Forefront CRM. It's like, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. At this point, all the CRMs out there that I've ever used, it's like using a paddle drill bit to stir a cup of hot coffee. They have everything, all these features. They're super awesome, really fast CRMs. This is what they call out, saying that it will get the job done. Well, will it get the job done if you use a paddle drill bit to stir a cup of coffee? Yeah, but you're also going to get boiling hot coffee all over you. And I kind of see that transition to Forefront. It's like, nah, man, this is just a steady, perfect tool, exactly what you need. It's not over the top. It doesn't have some crazy side effect, a lap that's got second-degree burn. Effectively, what that is the coffee is, they're your leads. Those are the people that you're going to close with, purchase their house. You're just all over the place. You can't manage your leads appropriately. So making the transition, when you put it into perspective, will benefit someone's business more than it will hinder it, even if it feels like in the interim, transitioning all the leads and the historical data and stuff over, it could be a burden. But honestly, like, I wouldn't look at it from the perspective of, what am I going to lose? I can't afford to do this. You can't afford not to, because again, unless you want to be in the ER, second degree burns all over your lap every single day, figuratively speaking, you're going to burn yourself out. And you're not going to be as efficient in your business as you could using the right tool for the job.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, Albert Einstein did an experiment with a class where he wrote, I think it was 10 different formulas on a chalkboard, and he purposely wrote one of the answers incorrect. And afterwards, everybody in the class was laughing at him. Oh, look, he got this one wrong, right? And it's a natural incorrect bias that, we have as humans, right? They wanted to point out the problem. And what he said to them was like, man, you guys are so focused on pointing out the one problem that I didn't get right that you overlooked the other 9 that I got perfectly correct. I think when it comes to shifting CRMs, I think many investors look at what are the obstacles that they're going to run into making the shift, and not focusing on what the benefits are going to come from making that shift and how it's going to improve their business, make them more streamlined, more efficient, and allow them to scale their business better.
You guys have the best analogies. I'm telling you, these are gold. If you could describe Forefront in just one word, what would it be?
If I could describe Forefront in one word, I would say simplicity. Everything is in its correct place, and it does such a great job. I know this is not one word, but it just does such a great job of siloing everything. So it makes it simple, so I know where to look for everything.
Awesome. Yeah, it's good to explain too what you mean by simplicity. So yeah, don't hesitate to use more than one word to describe the one word or why you say it. Christian, yeah, let's turn it over to you. What if you could describe it in one word? What is it that you choose to describe Forefront with?
If I could use one word and one word alone to describe Forefront, that word would be breeze. As in an ocean breeze, a fresh breath of air, right? Just feeling more at peace with the lead management, knowing that all of the leads that were in our pipeline are managed appropriately. There's no mystery. It's very plain. You can tell when your day is done or when your job is done, your acquisitions team's jobs are done, especially with the daily report. So all of that said, definitely breeze would be the word I'd use to describe it, like a nice, cool summer breeze on a hot day. Just feels good, man.
Awesome.
If you were to draw a parallel between all other CRMs being PC, you could definitely say that Forefront CRM is akin to Apple in that, because it is, for the reason that Apple exists, much more user-friendly. That's the reason Apple was created. And this is coming from my background that you may not know. I built PCs. I did software development as well with PCs. And then when I switched to Mac, I thought, how dumb was I to wait so long to actually make the switch? And that's the same thing that I would say about others who are utilizing CRMs that aren't Forefront.
This is good stuff, really good stuff. I'm speechless even. We'll just let you guys keep talking. You guys say whatever you want. Now, I really appreciate you guys being on and talking to us about how you feel about Forefront and what it's done for you and your clients, and just being a big part of the ecosystem, a big part of the community as well, with feature requests and helping guide improvement of the system so that it stays with the simple aspect of it, but powerful, right? And adding those things, but keeping the simplicity as much as we can. I appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that feedback. Utilizing all of the right tools is overall a function of what's improved our business, and Forefront CRM is absolutely at the forefront, pun intended, of that growth for us and our clients.